Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. Hello, welcome. Today we are going to discuss more about SEO evolution because it's very important to update what you have, to consider new technologies because SEO is a quickly changing world. We need to adapt fast. If you can't, then someone can replace you. And today we have this data: 5% of SEO specialists, content creators, marketers lost their jobs when ChatGPT appeared. It's not because of this tool, not at all. It's because someone can adapt to this tool and can replace others. So it's important to consider new technologies and think how you can adapt faster than others. I'm so excited to discuss a lot more with Jim Hedger. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Big pleasure. Welcome you back one more time to learn from you. I love this experience. I need more value, and I play a lot with SEO. I usually change what I have, and I started in 2008 my digital journey, and since then I change everything. I don't use even one method
How
that
many
I used.
times?
Yeah, it's like 15 years, of experience. And yeah, we started in Black Hat SEO. I didn't know other methods. I search on Google and found I need to buy links. I need to create content for search engines, to put a lot of keywords. And today, I don't use even one method from this. Of course, we changed because of Google, because of competition, and even, I think even more about competition because 15 years ago Google was not smart. Of course, we could game the system, we could manipulate, but competition was low as well.
Hmm.
Google didn't have enough choices. Today Google has a lot of high quality content. Google can choose which websites to rank. 2 billion websites online, and all of them have a lot of pages, a trillion pages, and it's tough to be one from all this information to rank your website in the top 10. So many things are going on fast, and we need to consider. Jim, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Okay, I've been around the web since the advent of the commercial web. I opened a cyber cafe in Victoria, British Columbia in 1994, a year after the commercial web was introduced in Western Canada. We had a T1 line. We were the fastest thing outside of universities and governments. And so every geek on the West Coast flocked to the underground on ramp. I didn't know a thing about the internet when I opened the cafe, but I got a incredibly immersive lesson. And again, from some of the most incredible innovators. Stuart Butterfield was one of our customers, the guy who invented Flickr. Um, these was the earliest days of the web, so everything and anything was possible, and we were developing this revolutionary new tool that was going to save the world and eliminate horrible employment. And we actually may have done that with AI, but I'll get to that later. All the horrible work, the soulless work that people have to do may well be eliminated because of artificial intelligence. And that, I think, is an amazing innovation for people. So my experience has me going from the analog days of the early 1990s to today, where we are literally creating opportunities to free the human spirit of drudge work. I don't think it's actually what's gonna happen, but the potential's there. And we in that time, you said that your career started in 2008, and you've changed what you're doing substantially. My reaction to that was, well, geez, how many times? Because that's what the internet and that's what our industry is all about, is change and adaptation to change. That said, I'm so glad you got in when you got in. I'm so glad I got in when I got in. I would be very concerned about younger people getting into the industry today because everything is changing so quickly and it's intimidating. And they mightn't realize that the rest of their careers, if they stay in search marketing, should SEO be a career moving forward, the rest of their careers is going to be about adapting to rapid change and sort of being the bridge between that change and people who want to benefit from that change, but don't have the time to study or learn as much as they should about it because they're running their own businesses. They have other stuff to do. That's where we come in. So yeah, that's my background. I've been an SEO forever, since 1999, 2000. Been through almost every major. I have literally been through every major Google update because Google came on the scene around 2000, um, and became the most popular search engine around 2002, 2003, and it's been an incredible ride since then.
Nice, love it, love it. And I agree that SEO is only for someone who is willing to adapt and move fast.
Hmm.
So, for example, if you don't want, we have many occupations that don't demand such movements like accounting. For example, my two brothers uh, still use calculators, spreadsheet in accounting. Nothing changed since 20 years. And Of course, this niche can develop, update, but not like in ASIO where you need to move much faster. And if you're not willing with that, find something else. In ASIO, it's a must have. And Jim, I want to ask about one aspect of ASIO evolution that I learned many times about focusing and priorities, because in 2008 I had a team of specialists who were responsible for almost everything. So one person could write text, submit them, edit, even create design, buy links, So we got results with that. Today I have a big team, someone who can create content plan, who can write content, who can edit, draw design, submit, develop, optimize, uh, PR, link building. It's like almost 10 people just for one piece of content. So can you tell how to focus when you need to handle many things today? So any tips about that?
Well, first of all, it depends the kind of business that you're in SEO, and that's one of the neat things about our industry is that it's so multifaceted. There are several different areas you can approach from. You've approached from the point of view of building an agency, and so to do that, you have to offer multiple types of services to really a wide array of clients that have a wide array of client needs. So you need to make sure that you have as many bases covered as possible. You have to have the technical side covered. You have to have the content side covered. You got to have the e-com side covered. You got to have review writers or access to review writers, etc. There's the whole gamut of SEO skills need to be present in one way or another, either directly in your business or through a third-party consultancy. Other SEOs have set themselves up by specializing in certain areas. I know of several people to this day who are specializing as link builders. This is what they do. They go out and they find relevant links that are going to benefit rather than act as a drag on your website. Um, I know people who are just getting into content development and figuring ways to use AI to with great deal of human intervention to to write and deploy content. So it really depends how you're approaching the industry. I strongly recommend that people find an area that they specialize in, and think about segmenting the industry into two areas. Technical and content. Everything is a derivative of one of those two areas, unless you're in the actual business administration side of the industry, which is also critically important. You don't have a sales staff or salesperson, you don't got jobs. Um, uh, 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 but if you're an SEO, you're either technical or doing content or something, some derivative thereof. You as the agency owner need to combine those skill sets. But finding somebody who can be a great writer while also understanding how servers work, how the internet works, how information requests are processed, who understand HTML render and Java render. Most writers don't get that. Most writers are incredible writers. They can write content for long tail, to score on the new long tail keywords, or people are speaking their search queries, but they don't technically know how the web works. Combining those two is really, really difficult. So specialization is good to find a niche in this marketplace if you're selling your skills. But if you're an agency, you kind of got to have your finger on all of those skill sets. Again, either by directly employing people or finding third-party consultants who really do specialize in that field.
Nice. And I can share what is my specialization in SEO. I'm jack of all trades.
Cheers.
Yeah, because I manage people. All of them can beat me in one side. Yeah, my main occupation is management. I usually try myself everything. For example, when I started PR, I wrote a bunch of press releases. I pitched all of them. I got zero mentions, zero results, nothing. But I found it's not like to read articles how it works. It's not like to watch videos to learn. It's more about practice. You need to practice. You need to make your hands dirty, even if you fail. I always fail. Always. If I start something new, I start with failing without any results. I even don't build high expectations. So even I have this feeling, oh, I can earn this market. No, I can't. I am patient, but I can learn how it works. I can fail. Then I search for someone who can help with that. And in PR, I found specialists who can write press releases. We found someone who can handle tools, PR tools, and we got mentions on CNN, Bloomberg, CoinDesk, Business Insider, many big websites in trading and investing niche. It's tough to get links on these niches because a lot of fake, a lot of scam on these niches. But if you use PR right, if you share value, if you help journalists to bring something new, it works. But you can't do it without a great team, and you can do it without knowing the process. So I recommend to anyone just to make your hands dirty, learn, fail, and go ahead. Cooperate with great experts. You can be a manager like me. You can specialize in one specific direction, like link building. And you mentioned about link building. I want to ask this question because it's important for me, for my audience. We see the last time that Google shares its diminishing role of link building. It's not impact like many years ago when Andrei Lipitz said that it's in the top 3 ranking factors, probably even between first and second place. Today, Google shared that link building is even it's not in the 5 best top ranking factors. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, that's hard. That's really hard to say. Given that every website is different and has a number of different factors going into it, it's hard to say what is the most important SEO technique to apply to any given situation. Google has 3 trillion or so documents in its index, so it has to kind of be general about stuff. As an SEO, we have to be really specific about stuff because we have, again, individual clients with their unique needs. Link building passes critical energy from one relevant site to another, but more importantly, it passes information. This site is relevant to this website, and so you can make a connection between the services here or the goods or the ideas here and the ideas there. That helps Google, and again, the closer and more relevant the websites, the more relevant the information that's being passed from A to B as the link to the link recipient. Back in the now Google's much better at understanding content, understanding the intent of content, and understanding why this link with this anchor text points from page A to page B. Google's way better at understanding why that happens and why that link was built. And if it's a link that's genuinely, quote unquote, genuinely meant to be helpful to the user, Google will give it uh, 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 an energy boost, for want of a better term. I dislike the term link juice or page. I don't think page rank is especially relevant anymore, given that the algorithm has changed a gazillion ways since then. But links are still very important, and they are really important to pass information about why one page considers another page relevant. Um, Now, it's not the mid 2000s when you could solve any problem by throwing links at it. Um, Google will, for the most part, ignore irrelevant links unless it gets massively link bombed, in which case Google says they won't, but Google has shown behavior that they will give less relevance to websites that have been massively link bombed.
Mhm.
They say they don't, but evidence suggests otherwise.
Mhm. And what do you think about mentions and no follow links? For example, I use PR,
Hmm.
and if we speak about the classic SEO knowledge, it doesn't impact. But I don't know how to get links, do follow links from CNN, Bloomberg. They usually mention your content, and you are lucky on that. If you get mentioned on CNN, I think you are so lucky. If you get no follow link from Business Insider, you are so lucky to get these links. But what about impact? What do you think? Is it good idea to spend time to earn such links or and
Okay,
mentions?
a couple things to keep in mind. Links don't just drive bot traffic. Links are designed to drive human traffic. And if you get a link from Bloomberg, you've probably got X number of thousands of people reading that article, some of whom will click that link. You're getting traffic. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, and you're getting traffic that sort of pre-qualified itself. It read the article of Bloomberg. It's interested in the topic. Heck, you're mentioned. They clicked you. That's a very interested party. That's a great link. Follow or no follow. But as for how Google thinks about this stuff, don't think about the energy you can get from the link. Think about the confirmation you can get, the information confirmation you can get from the link. Bloomberg says that your page is about this. Don't worry about any link juice or link energy you're getting from Bloomberg. Worry about Google saying, oh my goodness, that reference says this. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think even if nobody clicks these links, but someone can read content, they recognize your domain to memorize, and if they meet one more time, you can get much higher chance, to get results because you need to appeal like 7 times before someone will consider you like brand recognition. So
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay even without links. For me, it's the same with social media. I think social media links and mentions are not direct impact, but I don't know how to get results without having such brand recognition in SEO. It probably indirect, but impact it's phenomenal. It's very important to have them.
The we may be working in a digital world, and we may be working with indexes and directories, and when we're looking for the 10 blue links and all that sort of stuff. But the basic rules of advertising have never stopped applying. Like you said, it takes like 7 or 8 iterations of seeing a brand name online before it starts getting embedded in somebody's head. In the olden days, before the internet, when it was just TV commercials, it was up to 21 plays of that commercial before the consumer started going, okay, I need to buy those cookies.
Mhm.
The rules haven't changed. I mean, we may live in a culture where everything moves faster. We live in an acceleration culture, but the same basic principles, gravity still applies. Advertising rules still apply. You put the idea in front of the consumer, you're getting the idea in the consumer's head. Any way you get the idea in the consumer's head is a good thing.
Mhm. Yeah, Jim, I wanna ask about writing text because texts are foundation of any content. The main part in SEO. So if you can share valuable text, you can create great content. And for example, if I need to save money with creating content, I will never neglect writing great text. So I can create basic design to save money on that, like Wikipedia can do, Investopedia, many big websites. They have no great design, but they share valuable text. So for me, it's very important to write great text in the beginning. Then, if you have time, you can create design for UX and something like this. But without great text, you can't satisfy user intent. You can't even to get this user experience. I want to ask you about writing texts for human being and optimizing for search engines. It's not like many years ago you need to submit a lot of keywords, then Google can recognize it. But I see two sides. The first side, Google can say you don't need to add any keywords. We can recognize any intent. We can recognize great text. It works, but SEO experts can tell no, it doesn't work like this. You need to optimize. You need to add keywords, but to do it smart. Can you tell how to find this balance to write text for human beings and optimizing for search engines?
Okay, well, I'm an old school writer, which means when I write something, it has to be torn apart and edited a million times over before I'm happy with it. Um, I think people should take that kind of neurosis and that kind of skill set. I mean, it's a real skill set to edit your own work over and over obsessively. But I think people should take that kind of neurosis. You got to be neurotic to do it. You got to take that neurosis and that skill set and add it to AI content. Let's face it, the much of the content we're going to be reading moving forward is going to be created by AI. So I want to address that first, and then address actual written content after. Um, with AI content, it's all about prompting, writing extraordinarily precise and increasingly precise prompts, and then editing the hell out of the output with real humans who really understand the topic. Remember, expertise, authority, trustworthiness, and experience, EEAT. The bulk of content that is being put up on the web now is extraordinary. Again, Google just estimated they have like 3 trillion documents in their index, which is incidentally one of the reasons why Google is culling pages right now. They got way too much in their index. 3 trillion is like some absurd breaking point. I don't know. But the volume of content is increasing exponentially. So AI, you're in an arms race, and you need to use AI if you have very large, especially if you have like a large ecom site. The important trick, though, creating bulks of content, is to edit the hell out of it and make sure that it reads well for humans. So writing for humans. I don't believe Google when it says you don't need to incorporate keywords, but you don't need to incorporate keywords the way we used to do it. Google can understand context and meaning of a phrase. So when you do your keyword research, you want to look at like the top 3 or 4 phrases that are being used often, and you could mold those words and those ideas into your copy. And as always, you want to mold ideas in early in this copy stream than late in the copy stream. It used to be when we used to write, you have your topic, you have your body, then you have your conclusion. Every paragraph can be its own essay at this point. Google is happy to segment a page into topic. Google and other search engines would prefer you stick to one topic per page, but sometimes you can't do that. In an interview, wide-ranging interview like this, I'm going to jump all over the place. And when writing about, say, financial options, there may be 4 or 5 options that are relevant to any given scenario, and you have to cover them in the sheet that you're writing up. Google is happy to segment that sheet, but you got to give it the tools to do it. You got to tell it why each paragraph is relevant to itself or relevant to the rest of the content. And any good writer can weave paragraphs together or make them stand on their own. Um, you don't need a whole list of keywords, but you do need to understand why your users are choosing certain phrases to make their queries and incorporate the spirit of the why they're doing it into your copy. Google doesn't want a whole bunch of FAQs or simple answers to questions. Google does want answers to questions, but they don't want, because everyone's question is different. Everyone's question reflects what they themselves need, and we're moving into a world of hyper personalization. So you're never going to hit every keyword query. It's impossible. But what you can do is hit the intent of keyword queries. Why
Yeah.
is somebody writing it this way? Get the words. Like, again, look at the top 4 or 5 queries that drive traffic to a page. And depending on the impression volume, like, start writing those words and those phrases into your copy. But you don't need to have a whole list of stuff that you hammer on obsessively and hit every mark. That's you're ranking. Oh, so you're attracting traffic to concepts, not ranking for keywords anymore. Used to be that we ranked for keywords. We needed to be in the top 3 or the top 5 for a whole list of. I got top 5 for 150 keywords for that client. I'm so proud of myself. It doesn't work that way anymore. Now
Yeah.
it's like I'm driving 100% more traffic by hitting on these concepts.
Nice. Jim, you started your SEO journey in 2000, even before. Uh, and at that time, I think we knew about AI from movies like Terminator, Matrix. So, yeah, and in most cases, humans were fighting with Terminators. We'll see. I don't know what kind of future will be. Probably we will fight like in these movies. Probably something will change. But I want to ask about today. Uh, I think AI is a must-have. You
Hmm.
mentioned about AI, and I use AI a lot. I grew my projects with AI. I even don't care about if AI detectors or other tools can tell it's AI written. If it's quality, Google doesn't care.
Yep.
And I check with my projects. I even use AI editing on ChatGPT to share press releases. If CNN can accept your information, it means it's quality. You know, these people know what quality means. So I want to ask about AI. Okay, we need to use this AI tool today. It's a must have, but we need to use it smart. For example, if you ask me to write any article about weight loss, about online games. With I can't create great content because I don't play games. I don't help people to lose weight. I lost my weight, by the way, like 3 years ago. I did it, but that was personal experience. I'm not sure it can help others with my personal story. So, but it depends. But I want to ask you how to use AI in the smart way. I mean, like, do we need to know the topic, and if we know the topic, how to use AI to craft great content?
Well, again, number one, it comes down to the prompts. There's an old saying in tech, garbage in, garbage out. So
Yeah.
you have to, number one, you have to accept that your initial experiments with AI written content is going to be crap. Have you ever read the poetry you wrote in high school? It was crap. Um, much the same. The first stuff you do with AI is going to be awful. I mean, it's going to be. Get used to it, but don't let that stop you. Play with it, enhance it. Perhaps the refining of prompting can be thought of as the initial editing of an article back in the olden days of, say, 3 years ago. Um, Now you refine your prompts. You add a couple keywords here. You add a long tail sentence there to the prompt, and you get a slightly different output in the writing. And then again, you have to edit the heck out of it at the back end to ensure that this is actually factual, that it's actually helpful, and that it's written in a way that moves the user from the beginning of the page to some conversion point, because that's what we're doing here. We're
Yeah.
trying to sell soap or baubles or blue widgets or whatever. We're moving our users to a conversion, whatever that conversion means to our clients, be it lead gen or the actual selling of a product. And the content has to do all of these things. It has to be useful to the user. It has to give them the information that they came for. And Google really wants to see you actively helping the user move from the beginning, how they landed on this page somehow. Where are they going? Are they going to a conversion, or are they going to an exit? What's the appropriate thing for the user to do after they've consumed the information on your page? Is your content helping them do that? And that content will score well with Google. I
Yeah,
mean, use it
nice.
to create it. Because again, you're in an arms race right now. You need as much content as you can get, but the content's got to be good, or
Yeah,
Google's simply going to ignore it. Crawled,
yeah,
discovered, or crawled but not indexed. Discovered but not crawled. That kind of
yeah.
crap.
Yeah, I usually don't touch topics if we can't print something much better. So if I feel that I can create one more piece of content, but value is the same, I don't touch them. We have many other topics where we can update obsolete content, because online a lot of content with obsolete information,
Hmm.
outdated. So yeah, it's better to pay attention to these topics, to trending topics, to something new, and it works well. Jim, I want to ask about mistakes. Uh, uh, I love to ask this question because, in my experience, I made a lot of mistakes.
Hmm.
A lot of mistakes. I keep doing them. I made terrible mistakes. And I don't know how to go ahead without doing these mistakes. It's part of our job to test, to experiment, to fail, and to learn to go ahead. So tell mistakes that we can avoid. For example, if we are SEO specialists, we want to get results, and if you see some mistakes that companies still do from your experience, list them and tell how to avoid.
Okay, number one, test everything in the sandbox. Do not test in production. Like,
Mhm.
seriously, know what's going to happen before you go live. Um, Number two, if you're doing a migration, have the bases covered, especially your redirects and 301s. Um, Number three, and this is actually probably the biggest one. When you're initially getting involved with a search engine optimization specialist, understand that you're developing a long-term relationship. And if you're not developing a long-term relationship with that specialist, you are developing a long-term relationship with the practices and techniques that go along with SEO. Because you can't, it's not a one-off thing. I have a client, Fortune 500 corporation. I'm not allowed to say who they are. I wish I could, because goodness, I wish I could.
Mhm.
But one of the mistakes they initially made was cherry picking SEO, and they are literally a behemoth. They're never going out of Google's index because they're too big. They're too important. They're the only one of its kind. But a whole bunch of their important critical pages won't surface as frequently as they should, as they do now, because now they're treating SEO as a marathon, a long haul game. The point of mentioning them, though, is they have a very complicated website that's like a high performance car or a high performance machine of some sort. There's a whole bunch of finely tuned stuff that's going to break. It's a website. Trust me, something's going to break. It always does. Someone's going to push an update or do some technique, and it's going to break something else over here. And the SEO's job is to be aware of all of that and figure out how that breakage either affects or doesn't affect the website in relation to passing information around. Um, and it always does. That's the role of an SEO, is to be the Johnny on the spot for almost everything, because we're the ones who notice stuff first. Um, So again, the third biggest mistake is not understanding that SEO is a long-term relationship. You can't cherry pick. There's no one-offs. You can improve your website, great, but there's work to do long into the future. So that would be my three. Oh, and number four, ignoring schema. Moving into an AI world, everything is schema. Everything is describing information to the machine so the machine can understand the information it's looking at.
By the way, about your point, the third point that SEO takes time, you need to be patient. I don't know any digital marketing channel that works fast, including paid marketing. I know companies that lost 500K to get 0 clicks with paid marketing. So it takes time to craft this landing page, to learn, collect data about customers, to set up the right message. It takes time. I have no idea how to become an Instagram star overnight. It takes time. SEO is the same. Mr. Beast spent 18 months to get first 1,000 subscribers. Today, I don't know how much he has, like 200 million subscribers on YouTube. But 18 months to get first 1,000 subscribers. He didn't give up. It's the same with SEO. You can fail. That's okay. Just go ahead to learn from that. I'm against black methods. Black hat SEO, probably, even if you can cheat the system, you need to know the system will work to find and figure out about you, and you can lose a lot more, because it's not only to get PBM backlinks, it's more about crafting high quality content. If you craft high quality content and your links will destroy the rest, it doesn't work. So I'm not sure it's a good idea. And it's better to play by rules, to go ahead, because all digital marketing channels take time, including paid marketing. To find great specialists who can create the right message in paid marketing, to be creative on that, to create this landing page, it also takes time. So I love all your points. I agree. And Jim, I want to ask about your experience. You have this great experience, a lot of experience, and I like to learn from specialists who started before digital. I like to read these books because all these books offers try to satisfy customers, user intent, not algorithms. And today, I think human beings can't recognize these algorithms, including people on Google. I read some studies that people in Google don't understand how AI can rank websites, how AI can do it. I think it's the same with LinkedIn, Instagram, at any channel.
Let me tell you this. If you're
Yeah.
ever getting imposter syndrome, if you're ever feeling like the world is moving faster than you're intellectually keeping up with, remember, there are people working at Google who feel the algorithm has gotten out of control and they don't know how it works anymore. There's probably 5 or 6 people who could legitimately say they know how this works. And I'm not sure that they're telling the truth.
Yeah, I think today it's very important to create content for human beings and to think less about algorithms. For example, Neil Patel, he spoke on my podcast that he doesn't have time to read SEO news. I can't read a teeny percent of new information that is coming every single day. And if Neil Patel can see the traffic is dropped, then he can learn, okay, something is wrong, I need to do something. But he doesn't spend time to learn SEO news, but because he needs more time to create content, to use methods that work. So I'm on the same boat. When I open SEO news, I see, wow, today plus 100 articles, plus 50 videos on YouTube. I have no time to consume this content. So yeah, but I think if you think about customers, user intent, you will be fine. And Jim, my question about your experience, what I found that I get great results with clients who understand SEO. If they understand, then we can go ahead now to create high quality content, to think more about traffic value. If they don't, I usually tell them, take my course, learn on Google, learn on YouTube. I don't care how you can learn, just get the basic. And you started in this journey even, I think, before SEO. And today you pass all this long way, So tell, what would you do today if you started from scratch without having this knowledge, skills? It's your first day. You know that Google exists. You know that Google can rank. You can get results from Google, but you have no idea how it works. You have no idea about content. So it's your first day. What will you do if you start from scratch?
Get my merchant marine's license and be a sailor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can honestly, like, I would be terrified if I was trying to get into this industry today. The rapidity of change, there's no course material that can prepare you
of
for
course.
going to work one day. It's your third week. It's so you got your first job as an SEO in October 2022, and you learned all the basics. You had it down. You knew everything that about site structure. You know everything you needed to know about how pages are created, everything, right? About how content is created and deployed, everything. And then November 2002 comes along and ChatGPT is introduced and all the basics change. If you get into the industry today, you have a knowledge base that is probably 3 or 4 weeks old. And then something new is going to come along. Now, if you've been in the industry for a while, you understand this happens. This happens all the time. Um, you have a great deal of knowledge that you've acquired the entire time you've been working. You've been working since 2008 in this industry. You've got like um, 15, 16 years of knowledge under your belt. I've been working 8 years longer. I've got that much information in my head, so I don't need to. I can take the time to study the new information. In fact, on another window, I have several sheets open, learning about how to deal with responsive design and PWAs, progressive web apps. Um, Creates a cluster with images, let me tell you, and intuitive layout shift, etc. I have the time to do that research right now because I have years of knowledge behind me. If I was getting into the industry now, I'd have to acquire those years of knowledge and also brush up on the new, not brush up on, be an expert on the new stuff. See, you and me, we're lucky. People assume that we're experts on the new stuff because we're experts on the old stuff. If you're a young person in the industry today, you need to find a way to distinguish yourself, be that in your company, with your clients, or on the greater web. Dare I say it, by doing something crazy like, I don't know, a weekly podcast or writing articles or something. Um, it's really hard. I remember when you mentioned Neil Patel earlier. Neil's a CEO. He doesn't have time to do the in the trenches stuff mostly. But I remember years and years and years ago when Neil was a 16-year-old kid, and he was phoning every major SEO writer, myself included, and he'd have us on the phone for sometimes hours because he was a fascinating conversation. And this kid was just calling people who he knew were experts in the field and hoovering information out of their heads. And the cool thing was, the longer you talked to him, he'd start giving you ideas and theories. And again, this is some 16-year-old kid who was just really enthusiastic. Watching Neil's career arc has been incredibly interesting, sometimes incredibly frustrating. But I'm how to say this without sounding like a paternalistic old man. I'm proud of Neil for what he's accomplished. Um, and the way he accomplished it in the early days was remarkable in that he took the time to study and to talk to experts, to not only talk to experts, because he was annoying as hell. God, oh my God, is Neil calling again? Jesus. But it was always an interesting conversation, you know? So I'd be working an extra hour because I spent an hour talking to him. But it was, at least I got something out of that hour. He gave back in those initial conversations. Um, so that's what I mean by, you find, as if you're getting in the industry now, find a way to distinguish yourself. Please don't call me and annoy me. Find a way to distinguish yourself, um, and find a way to make connections with other SEOs, because this is a business. If you want to have a long-term career, you live on your networks.
Nice, nice. Love it, love it. And Jim, I have my final question. Our podcast about SEO evolution. So we discussed about past, about present, but I wanna touch the future. It's important, especially you cooperate with big companies, 500 Fortune companies, and I think these companies can ask what kind of innovation we can implement to ask to forecast the future. And yeah, I'm interested your forecast. Please let us know what kind of future will be in SEO, especially I'm interested about blogging. Let me explain why. For example, when I started my SEO journey, I didn't write blog posts. We created e-commerce content. Google ranked well because system was not ready to recognize user intent. Today, of course, blog content can get more traffic than any other content. According to data, plus 50% are coming to blog content, blog articles. And but I'm not sure about the future because of AI, because of chatbots, and even today, Chat GPT built how long? An year and month. Yeah, not a lot, but 12% of people search information on AI chatbots, including me. And sometimes I can get much better and accurate information on chatbots than on Google. For example, I decided to buy Tesla in
Mhm.
Florida, and I search on Google, can I use self-drivers feature autopilot on Tesla in Florida? And I couldn't find the answer to simple question on Google. Then I asked on ChatGPT and got this reply for a few seconds.
Yeah.
So I don't need this great content about Tesla, about electric cars, about how it works, why I can save money with gas. But I'm interested just one thing, and I got this reply on ChatGPT. So what do you think about the future in SEO, especially about blogging?
Well, this is for Google and Bing, Anthropic, and anybody else who's working with AI. This is for you, Dave Davies at Weights and Measures. Um, it's going to be all about attribution moving forward. AI is training on large data sets, be that a bucket LLM, so that's like a closed system LLM, or the entire internet, as with ChatGPT 4.5, Anthropic, Grok, etc. Um, AI is about summarizing information that it reads. It doesn't surprise me that you're able to get an answer on, can I use this self-driving feature under these kind of circumstances in this jurisdiction, faster through AI than you can through the open web, because you live in a very specific place that probably has its own rules on the use of self-driving technology. I know I live in Ontario, and we have different rules than they do in New York State. So Google is going to give you the traditional 10 blue links, are going to give you options to choose from, and you got to read those and decide which is the right link. And you may choose the wrong link, so you got to back out and go back to the 10 blue links and choose another one or refine your search. AI, on the other hand, is just going to read everything that has to do with that topic and give you a summary. And somewhere in that summary is probably the answer to your question, given that it's using your question to prompt what it's looking for. Attribution is going to be everything. Where did you draw that information from? Now, the problem with AI is it doesn't know where it drew the information from. It just has this massive word salad of everything it's ever read, and it's predicting what should come next um, in the way it interprets your question. How would most people structure an answer? How would most writers have structured the answer to this question? So if you're looking for really specific information, well, somebody in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, wrote this for that jurisdiction. And again, I think it would really come down to the prompts you use, but Google has to somehow move people from the summary in ChatGPT, and we'll see what Gemini does. I'm really interested in the because ChatGPT, or I'm sorry,
Gemini.
SGE ends
Mhm.
in at the end of December, and assumably Gemini is going to be the evolution that comes next. So we'll see. I mean, it's hard
Yeah.
to believe in Gemini after the tricks they pulled with those videos, but like, we'll see what happens. If Google can attribute where it gets information from, I'm here to sell soap. I'm here to sell paintball guns. I'm here to sell cars. I'm here to sell flowers, different florists. If Google can attribute the information to that florist in Charlotte, North Carolina, I win. If it can't, I need to find a way to make that happen.
Yeah, love it, love it. And I think, my opinion, it doesn't matter what will be with SEO. Customers have attention and they can switch attention to other channels. But SEO doesn't teach how to rank websites. Of course, it teaches, but it teaches how to create high quality content, how to earn backlinks that will bring authority, brand recognition, even traffic. So, how to increase website speed. It works at any channel. If you know how to create high quality content, you can create for other channels as well. And marketers on TV and radio didn't lose their jobs. They adapted to digital. We can do it the same. So if you have SEO skills, you can move to any other channel. Whatever chatbots will bring, augmented reality, I don't know, and I don't care. Just get experience with channels that work today, adapt fast, and you will be fine. You can beat your competitors at any channel. Chip, it's a big pleasure to get to my show, to learn from you one more time. I love this experience. Say the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Okay, I'm kind of a digital, as crazy as it sounds, I'm kind of a digital recluse. My website, I haven't upkept my website in months. You can follow me by listening to Webcology on WMR.fm. You can go to Google, Bing, your favorite search engine, type in Webcology, and we are distributed at every fine podcast distribution point. I sometimes write for the major trade journals. I used to have weekly columns. I don't do that as often anymore. Facebook, sometimes Twixter. But yeah, I got to spend a lot more time in the social environment, and I got to spend a lot more time being less of a digital recluse. But
Mhm.
yeah, Webcology is easily the easiest way to follow what I'm saying, and Facebook's probably the easiest. I'm old. Facebook's probably the easiest way to follow my life. Uh,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will be getting back on the conference circuit eventually when I get around to it.
Awesome. I got it. Yeah. It depends on priorities. It's tough to cover all channels.
I've been doing this for a lifetime, like literally half my lifetime. After a while, you start wanting to draw back because there's so much. I mean, there's so much energy to put out there, and I still have a love for the industry. But there's you get tired, and B, there's people like you. There's younger people who should be moving into where I'm at, and after a while, you begin to feel a bit like a doorstop, right? When there's so many other people who really should be taking that space.
Yeah, nice, nice. Love it, love Jim. It's a big pleasure to get on my show again. I love this experience. I'm going to follow you. I'm pretty sure that my audience will follow too. Just open Webcology. You can find other social media accounts in the description below. Listen on us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and see you next time.
Anatolii, thank you so much. Slava Ukraini.
Yeah.